In a year that few are likely to remember as a particularly strong one for Hindi films, it's the memory of the transformative roles our leading men played that will stay with us when the dust settles on 2016. From piling on the pounds and slipping into an accent to play athletes who've seen better days, to enduring hours of elaborate prosthetic makeup and suffering for the sake of their art, physical transformation was the key to some of the strongest performances this year. Others created deeply affecting characters without the crutch of a big makeover and invested them with vulnerabilities and warts.
मेरे में कीड़े निकालने से पहले, why did you try to save your own bloody marriage?
उस रात राजवीर के संग ऐसा क्या हुआ?
In Pink, Amitabh Bachchan put his booming baritone and his commanding presence to excellent use as the aging lawyer who offers an impassioned defense of three young women harassed by influential men.
आज मुझे लग रहा है कि मैं अपनी फिल्म का हीरो हूं.
Ranbir Kapoor made the pain of heartbreak entirely palpable in his stirring performance as the stubborn romantic, unable and unwilling to come to terms with rejection in Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. In Udta Punjab, Diljit Dosanjh brought a quiet, simmering intensity to his role as a helpless brother and reformed cop confronted with the ugly reality of the drug problem.
Tommy Singh se.
Also in Udta Punjab, Shahid Kapoor didn't miss a beat as the beefed-up, coked-out pop star whose inner emptiness and confusion manifests itself in his erratic, eccentric behavior.
खड़गपुर में जॉब का सिक्योरिटी में फंस गए ना पापा, तो हम आगे कुछ नहीं कर पाएंगे.
And Sushant Singh Rajput masterfully evoked the stoic personality of India's most successful cricket captain with a keenly observed, nuanced performance in MS Dhoni, The Untold Story. The five leading men who left an indelible impression on our minds with their knockout performances this year spoke candidly about their insecurities, the lies they tell their directors, and what turns them off on the set when they assembled for the Actors' Roundtable.
You know, in each of your performances this year, there were moments that transcended what we regard as traditional acting. These came from a place of such deep honesty and purity even. You know, I bring this up because there's this interview I read with Tom Hanks recently, and one of the things he said in that is that he said that one of the things that often happens to actors is that people come up to them and ask them, how did you do that moment? What was the secret? And he said he invariably finds himself telling them, I haven't the vaguest idea. There is no secret. He said he would never attempt to explain his process because one, he didn't know, and two, if he were to think about how he did it, he would never be able to do it again. Does that sound familiar?
Yeah.
Do you find moments where you're unable to articulate what went into that moment?
Yeah, I mean, the writer writes for you, the director tells you what to do, and you just do it. I don't know whether it comes through okay or not, but I think Tom Hanks is absolutely right.
The rest of you?
Yeah, I guess, you know, when you have an idea of what you're doing, then it's coming from a very definite place where it's a trick, you know, which you repeatedly use, you know, for certain emotions that you portray on screen. When something surprises you and you don't know really what happened in the moment, it's usually those moments which really stand, you know, which have something, which have like an alive moment on screen. So, yeah, Tom Hanks is right.
एक कौन है सर टॉम हैंक्स?
Tom Hanks
For
is
his
a Hollywood
Gumpa
star.
डायरेक्टर है, एक्टर है?
Hollywood actor, जी.
पता नहीं बाजी उन्होंने कैसे बोला. मेरे पास तो थोड़े से इमोशंस हैं.
जी.
वो मेरे भाई का इमोशंस, मेरा भाई है छोटा, तो मैं जस्ट फील किया उसको. मैं अगर वो ऐसे हो जाता तो मैं क्या करता?
Yes, I think it's as simple as that. Every kind of research that you can do to understand the character, it can lead you to a point. And the whole point of doing a film and performing is to find out what you don't know. So the relation between what you don't know and where you start from what you know is what I think real acting is, and then you're not aware of it. If you're asked to again do it, you might not be able to do it in the next take because you are not aware. And the absence of you is what makes it so interesting.
I think it's a process of discovery. I think you always try and attempt paths which are beyond what you have done. And I think with Tommy Singh in Urta Punjab, for me it was, I had no idea the world that Tommy Singh came from. So I was very dependent on the filmmaker and on my instinct. So it was just that.
Has preparing for any role or playing any role made you sick to the stomach? Perhaps out of insecurity or fear that you can't do it?
Yeah, absolutely. I think Heather was one such film because I think Hamlet is a role which has so many layers and so you actually don't know what the the bottom layer of Hamlet would be, so you constantly feel incompetent as an actor. And I guess every great filmmaker does that to you. You work with a great filmmaker, they make you feel very incompetent.
Well, I feel actors tend to say that, okay, this was the time when I completely changed into the character or something like that. But I feel that there is always that binary state. You operate, you can listen to the action, and then you try to be there. The most important thing I feel is that even if there is something that you really don't like as yourself, but your character likes, or vice versa, that gets very difficult. And one of the characters that I play in my next film have many of those qualities that I really I'm not very comfortable with it. So every time I used to do it, and I was trying to be honest to myself at least, that was the time when I was really feeling sick, that I really don't want to get there. But yeah, that's the only time I felt something like this.
Well, I guess preparation, it's a fun process, because you're doing a film because you're excited about it. So you have to make it fun. You can't use it like, it's a tedious thing to do. Because you're excited about a part, you're excited about being somebody. Yeah, so it hasn't got me sick to my stomach. It's usually, after a film is done, and if it's a heavy, intense role or something which you've really surrendered to, then it can get a little tiring and it can get a little hard on you. But the preparation is fun because you're still diving into it. You're still trying to reach a point, trying to jump higher to touch that. So it's a fun process.
Body shots get you sick to the stomach.
Trust me.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Claimed you don't.
You don't have to name
You're
that
not
thing.
supposed to say that, but okay.
Yeah.
Young kids, that's something you're not supposed to know about.
He's talking about you.
Okay, Papa.
Yeah.
कोई ऐसा रोल जो आपको अब जिसके लिए प्रिपेयर करते हुए या जब आप प्ले कर रहे थे बिल्कुल ऐसा लगा कि डर लगा, एंजाइटी, नर्वसनेस कि ये मैं नहीं कर पाऊंगा?
वो मैं करता नहीं भाजी, अगर कुछ ऐसा ऑफर हो जाता है मैं करता नहीं उसको। मैं मेरा अपना एक फील्ड है गाने का, सो फोक सिंगिंग, तो मैं वो एंजॉय करता हूँ। अगर कोई लगता है कि मुझे ये मैं कर सकता हूँ, तो वही करता हूँ।
पर वो चैलेंज में मजा है?
नहीं, चैलेंज एक्चुअली ये प्रॉपर एक्टिंग का काम है जो मैंने सीखी नहीं ना, मैं एक्टर हूँ
जी।
तो मुझे लगता है जो मुझे जितना के इमोशंस मेरे पास है मैं वो कर लूँ, वो बेटर है, बस दैट्स इट।
आप जो कुछ भी कर रहे हैं बहुत सुंदर कर रहे हैं, बहुत अच्छा कर रहे हैं, सीखिएगा मत।
You, sir, have there been moments where you felt completely insecure about how do I do this role? Will I be able to pull this off?
No, I just leave it to the director. Certain technical aspects of a role, you need to learn. Like in Black, I had to learn how to communicate with somebody who's blind and deaf. और जो लोग blind और deaf होते हैं, उनके actions अलग होते हैं.
जी.
If you're just deaf, then वो all this
Sign
happens.
language, right?
But in blind and deaf, वो हाथ पे करना पड़ता है, so they can feel it, and that's a completely different technology. And Ranbir would know because he was assisting.
Obsessed. He's saying this, but he's obsessed with his work. And he's obsessed with the character he's playing, and I've seen that. I haven't seen that obsession in any actor. And I've seen actors that work.
I mean, if you're... I don't know what you mean by obsession.
You're obsessed with your work, and you're obsessed with,
I'm sure everyone is.
Not as much as you.
No. How can you put it? No, I don't think you can put a yardstick to it or degree to it.
No, with you, there is a yardstick and a degree. You're of a different level of obsession for your work.
Mr. Bachchan, I watched an interview that Ranbir did with you, in which you told him about a scene in Black which you completely hate because...
Yeah, do you have to keep reminding me?
Because in retrospect, you've looked at it and you felt you could have done it much better, but now it's done and it's over. Yeah. It makes me want to ask all of you, is there a specific scene in one of your films, perhaps a film that people really love or a scene that the audience has really enjoyed, that you can see the problems with, that you can see or, how you could have done it better, but now it makes you feel bad that you can't?
Most of my work.
Yeah, I think actors feel that
Look
about
back
all of
at
their
your
films.
work and you feel like there's a lot that...
सबको लगता है ऐसे. कुछ सालों के बाद देखा या कुछ महीनों के बाद देखा, you feel you could have done better. I don't know.
Obviously, वो तो देखते हैं तो लगता है कितना बुरा किया है.
Well, there was this thing that I was doing a long back, I think in 2007, 2008, and I was trying to feel it, but I just couldn't do it. It was a play, Romeo and Juliet, and I was playing Paris. And here was this scene after the interval where I get to know that Juliet is dead. And every time I knew that she's dead, or like pretending to be dead. But to cross that thing, I was always dishonest. I couldn't find the solution. And I never felt that, okay, I've completely pulled it off this time, because I was feeling it. Because I always knew when the interval bell and you are like given that information that she's dead. To cross that thing is a big task in I think a very short span of time.
In the same interview, Mr. Bachchan, you spoke about the sabbatical that you took for 3 years and how you look back at that as a mistake now. You said, I should never have done that. I shouldn't have been away from the cameras and the studios. In this profession, there's always someone waiting around the corner, someone who's better than you, better looking than you, more popular, and he will take your place. That was very candid, Mr. Bachchan. I want to ask all of you, what are your big insecurities?
Well, that's factual, isn't it? Everyone can't be popular for the rest of their lives. कोई ना कोई तो आएगा, नया आएगा, जो कि next generation को ज़्यादा अच्छा लगेगा, more popular होगा.
I will leave an insecure man after this interview. I was feeling more secure till I got here. But that is the truth. That is the truth. Yes, sir. That is the truth.
I think it's very egoistic to suddenly decide, I'm taking a break for 3 years. It's wrong. It's a wrong kind of feeling to have. Every day you learn something in front of the cameras. And to just say, I'll take a break for 3 years and then come back and assume that, you're going to be in the same position is a fallacy. You're never like that.
Were you extremely surprised?
No, I wasn't surprised because I was hearing and seeing and knowing what was happening. And then when I made some attempts to do some movies, they didn't work. And the whole equation changes, the crowd is not attracted to you. The people don't look at you the same way as they used to look at you before. You can enter a restaurant and, cause mayhem, and you can enter again and nobody looks at you. So you go through that phase.
Seems a bit fast.
No, seriously, I'm telling you. Walking on the street, for example, I went to promote a film in New York during the time of Lawaris and Muqaddar ka Sikandar. I mean, not to promote. I just went to do a show. And that was madness. You couldn't get out. I mean, even when you're on stage, I couldn't get off the stage because, it's just crazy. They had to get the limousine on stage and, there's a lift that goes underground. Then you get out onto the street. Wow. That's how you had to escape.
That is okay.
But Bade Miyan Chote Miyan, we went with Govinda and Ravina and to promote the film, and we got off this great big limousine into the theater. Nobody looked at you. You're just walking in like with the rest of the audience. So you realize the differences.
Was that frustrating?
No, I think you come to know that this is bound to happen, and you have to accept it.
Is that a fear that you all have at the back of your heads? Is that something that actors grapple with permanently?
I think it's a reality that you live with. I think to address it as a fear would pretty much be addressing the truth as fear. You have to accept it, and you have to learn to focus on the craft and improve upon yourself and not allow outside perception to define your own perception of yourself. Because I think an actor is driven by his belief in himself. If you can't trust yourself, then I think that shows. There has to be a certain honesty and focusing on the process. And results are really, they'll never be what you expect them to be. So why focus on them?
Sure.
Sorry. No, I just said that. I said it in the interview also with Ranbir. There were some audiences there before the camera started. So when I walked in, there was applause and all that. But when he walked in, and everything. So those are the differences you notice. Yeah.
But for me, I feel I'm still in a growing phase.
While we were walking here, as a matter of fact, while we were walking here, nobody looked at me. They were all saying, "Hello, Ranbir, how are you doing?" So you realize that,
It's not true. So actually, the rest, three of us got in quietly.
Yeah,
Maximum noise
we were
when
like-
the both
we
of
were
you
taking
walking
that-
in together.
We were taking that underground
I came
elevators.
with him so that, we could hear some noise. I came in with him because we could hear some noise.
So now we're not going to believe you for the rest of the interview now.
No, seriously, I'm
just
telling you.
taken it there now.
I'll tell you some more facts later on.
Yeah, so what I was saying is like I'm in a growing phase as an actor, as a person. So I haven't reached that acceptance stage that Amit Uncle is talking about. Okay, you know, tomorrow's I want to be there. I won't have the opportunities. Somebody better is going to take my place. I think it'll also make me a little too content if I accept so early. You know, I still want to grow. I want to do better. So I haven't reached that stage yet in my life. You know, that I feel that somebody is going to take my place.
आज मुझे लगता है ये कुदरत का असूल है। एक बंदा गलती नहीं करेगा तो दूसरे की बारी कैसी आएगी? सो ये नेचर ही करती है। बंदा कई बार सोचता है कि मैं ऐसा डिसीजन गलत ले गया। मुझे लगता है ये असूल है।
पर ये दिमाग के पीछे रहता है जब आप काम कर रहे हो। And is that a healthy way to work?
Not at all.
No, but then I also think that it's not our fault because we're so heavily conditioned that one day you'll earn money and there'll be recognition is when you'll be successful, is why we want to hold on to it. But if you're not looking at it, you're not insecure. I'm not saying that it's completely the seduction of this fame is absent. It is there, but you're not looking forward to it for most of the time. Personally speaking, I get insecure because every time people say that this was a good shot or probably a good performance, I didn't know how it happened. So I'm not in control. So the knowing or understanding of the absence of control is what gives me this insecurity. That's it.
I think there's a general sense of, I think you realize as you spend more time in this medium, and maybe it's true for many, and this is what we do, so this is what we understand. It's driven by success. It's not driven by excellence. It's not driven by achievement. It's just essentially, primarily driven by success. And nobody knows what success is and how to get it. So I think that's an insecurity that lies in this profession because of the nature of it.
It's so elusive.
Yeah.
I would imagine that as actors, you get scripts and you read your character, and it's not often in the place or in the shape that you relate to it or fall in love with it instantly. But you know there's something there. You know that with some work with your writer, with a collaboration with your writer or your director or both, you can get it into the place.
Or post-editing.
Or post-editing. You can whip it into a shape that you're happy with. What was the last script that you read, however, and felt this character is just me? I've got to do it. Where you felt on the page that you loved this character. There was a sense of ownership, a sense of proprietorship on that character. The moment you read it and you felt, this I want to do, this I'd like to do.
I leave my decisions to the writer and the director. If he tells me you can do it, I'll do it. I never assess myself whether I'll be able to do it or not. I just leave it to somebody else.
But I'd imagine anyone who wants to work with you would say, sir, you can do this.
Yeah, but I think the decision you make is who you want to work with and whether you're comfortable with that particular director, maker. Somewhere down the line, yes. And in your initial stages, won't work. So you don't see who's good or bad. And if that succeeds, then you want to continue with them.
I mean, I think for me, it's, oh man, I know this guy. I feel like I'm so similar to this guy, and that's a no. Because I don't want to play myself. I don't know. I just feel like it's more exciting to play characters that are different from you because that's where you discover. I don't know this guy. I don't know how I'll do this. Let's do it.
So the challenge of discovering it as you go.
Absolutely.
So I'm completely with him, I guess. Like you said, that understanding that you are very much like the character and the love for it, I don't think they go hand in hand all the time.
Right.
Like you can find love if you find there is something that you probably
wish you had,
or probably aspire to have. And that's the void in you, and you will figure it out. You may fail as an actor, but that is the love, and that is the reason why you'll do it.
Yeah, I have to agree. Like films like Ye Jawani Hai Diwani Ho, Dil Hai Mushkil, they're very frustrating because you don't have a character, you don't have anything. You have to reflect your own personality, which is harder to portray on screen. So I guess a role which when I read and I really felt, okay, this is something which I can really bite into was a film called Bombay Velvet. When I read that part of the character, I was like, wow, now this is a role which it's ready, it's meaty. I can do stuff with it.
दिलजीत?
फ्लाट उड़ता पंजाब, जो सरताज का कैरेक्टर जब उन्होंने मुझे सुनाया, मुझे लगता है ये मैं हूँ। मैंने उनसे पूछा भी कि आपने सरताज नाम अगर मुझे कास्ट कर रहे हो तब रखा है कि नहीं, हमने तो पहले ही रखा था। तो आज मैं बहुत कुछ सीख के जा रहा हूँ भाजी। मैं ऐसे नहीं सोचता, मैं तो जो मुझे अच्छा लगता है कि मैं ये कर सकता हूँ, मैंने अभी तक वही किया है जी। हाँ, शायद लाइफ में कभी मुझे लगे कि ये मैं नहीं हूँ और मैं कर सकता हूँ। I don't know.
I just want to say something to Ranbir. I just, I'm very fascinated with how he sometimes manages to do scenes absolutely brilliantly, which essentially don't have much in them. So I think that's an amazing craft that he has, and I'm, really, really fascinated by how he does it. So the films that you named, you were outstanding in them, man.
Thanks, man. But having said that, even when I see you in films like Jab We Met and the other rom-coms that you've done, there is a sense of still a character in that rom-com. In Jab We Met, you have that character. When you see my work in the rom-coms that I have done or the urban romantic films, it's pretty much the same because you have to reflect your personality. When you saw Mr. Shah Rukh Khan play these parts, he's got a very strong personality, He's got a very strong way of how he speaks to how he says his dialogue, how he dances, how he romances, how he cries. There is a certain charm to it. And that charm is very hard. I don't know if it's created or if it's inborn, especially with Mr. Shah Rukh Khan. But whenever he does it, and if he does the same thing for like 15 films, you're still charmed by it.
Right.
I don't think we have that luxury.
But if you had, would you do it?
If I had the what?
If you had the charm or identified charm, would you repeat it again and again?
I don't know.
But he would not know that charm.
I wouldn't know.
If I tell him
Somebody would have to tell him that.
I mean, just for me to do this and repeatedly and make it work, if it...
But I think it's also a different time, right? I think with evolving cinema and with things changing, I think different things work at different points in time. And I think there was a phase where that worked. And it worked for a certain set of people. And I think the new set of people have to find new things to do, which might work over a period of 15 years, but it can't be what people have already seen. So,
Ranbir, your character in Ae Dil Hai Mushkil is one who cannot come to terms with the fact that this woman who he madly and deeply loves does not reciprocate his romantic feelings. He throws tantrums, he behaves childishly, he pines for her. And in doing that, he comes off as very needy and emotionally fragile. Was that easy to relate to? I ask because Anushka Sharma has said that she could not easily relate to her character, Alize, in this film. Initially, she found her petty, she found her, she said she was superficial, and she had lots of questions for the director before she was able to get to that place where she could stop judging her. Was it similar for you?
No. See, when you work with Karan, like Amit Uncle also has, there's a lot of fun and a lot of positivity on set. And once you're in a film, you've surrendered to the part and the process, and you just go about it. So it was a very easy film in that aspect. There was no aftermath, or there was no intensity, and trying to delve into the character about neediness, childishness. It was very clear he's a childish, needy character, and we just organically built upon it as the days went by.
Mr. Bachchan, you've been an actor for over 45 years. What motivates you to act?
Another job.
correct.
Naukri milni chahiye.
I asked this question to Nasiruddin Shah recently, and he's put in about 50 years of acting, and he said it's the fun of it. At some point, it becomes labor, but he says he's gone back to rediscovering the joy of it.
Yeah, I think he's right. It's great fun to be in front of the camera. You forget, आज घर पे ये हुआ, आज पेपर में ये पढ़ लिया, वो पढ़ लिया, लेकिन जब कैमरा ऑन होता है, सब भूल जाते हैं हमसे. And it's a wonderful catharsis that all of us go through. But when it goes off, then you're back to thinking about your problems and everything.
In the reality.
Yeah.
It's like how you feel when you eat that chocolate like they just did.
You noticed.
Shahid, in Urta Punjab, you played a more or less permanently drugged out pop star Tommy Singh, who's obnoxious, he's rude, he's badly behaved, and yet the audience had to get behind him. You yet had to humanize this character. Did you know right away that you could do it? That you could make him a character that the audience will ultimately empathize with?
No.
Or did you struggle with how you were going to achieve that?
I think people relate to all kinds of characters because I think human beings are essentially imperfect and we all have our shortcomings. And so I think subconsciously we all know. And I think when you start playing characters which are damaged or which have issues, I think you make them more relatable. relatable cinema. But I think with Tommy, the struggle was that will people get him? Because I think the mental state, and there's a lot of people who have told me, "ये बहुत over कर रहा था तू, overacting हो रही थी." But I just, whoever I spoke to, he was a cocaine addict, and I just spoke to a lot of people, and that's the mental state that you're in. And so I think if you learn to play characters and be honest about their shortcomings, I think somewhere they connect. So I think the fear of, I think it's scarier to play perfect characters. I think it's much scarier to play a character which is aspirational because people might just not relate to that character. So I think Tommy Singh was the most challenging character I've played at because I have no exposure to drugs or to any, I don't even drink alcohol. So for me, it was extremely challenging. And I just wanted people to see that this guy also has a heart and he's also real and he's also vulnerable. And all this that's coming out of him is coming from a place of humanity. You know, he might come across as animalistic in the way that he behaves, but actually he's just a messed up guy.
Were you ever concerned that he might come off as not likable?
I didn't want him to be likable. I don't want Tommy Singh to be likable because then people will want to be like him. I think the first thing when people enter theatre is that they want to see somebody and say, hey, I want to be like this, I want to be in this place, I want to experience this life. I think that's the first thing that happens. So when you're playing a character like Tommy Singh, you want people to look at him and say, I don't want to be this guy.
You know, in that same conversation that Tom Hanks had, it was an interview between him and Viola Davis in Variety. She said that the trap of biopics, especially when you're playing a hero or a lifesaver, is that you can't stain them. You can't reduce them in any way. But your job as an actor is almost to ruin the image, to humanize. It's your job as an actor to find the mess. But when you're playing someone heroic and strong, how much of that do you play against? Sushant, you played MS Dhoni this year, and it's a terrific performance that never once slips into mimicry. One of the criticisms against the film, however, was that it was too reverential, that you don't get to see the warts. Was that disturbing for you?
No, because I was processing on the what's all along. Because if you say that I was convincing, it was that, okay, I generally, in the film and in the life, I have generally taken decisions that normally people want to take or they want to say that they want to take. But me being alive in that scene and understanding the importance of it has to do with a counter thought. So I'm dealing with what's all along. I'm thinking that whether I should ditch this girl or not. I should go about this like this or not. So I'm dealing with what's. But the thing is that most of the times I take those decisions that are normally have the people consensus. And that's why he is what he is. But script takes care of everything that you punctuated. But you take care of the what's. And that's what makes it convincing.
How did you get that last expression in MS Dhoni after he hits the six?
So I saw it for like 100 times.
It was incredible. I don't know.
Thank you.
I've also seen the trailer, and I'm going to see the movie in a couple of days. But that last expression was just unbelievable. When he scored, वो चक्का मारा था और India जीत गया था. That expression on his face. उसका close-up है TV में.
In trailer, yeah.
It was, you can't make out the difference. So I was very keen to know.
The great thing is, I was at that point of time also thinking that it's unbelievable.
To all of you, is there any great actor that you've learned from working with or you wish you had worked with?
Right here.
Yeah, I wish I could work with all of them.
I had the privilege to see him on my first experience on a movie set, Black. And like I mentioned it earlier also, that no film school, acting school can teach you what you can learn on a film set starring Amitabh Bachchan.
Diljit?
भाई मेरे लिए तो हीरो देखना बहुत बड़ी बात है, तो इतने बड़े बड़े हीरो बैठे हैं, so मेरे लिए ये ड्रीम है. आज आपने बुलाया, मैं उतना बड़ा आर्टिस्ट नहीं हूँ, लेकिन थैंक यू. और शायद सर के साथ मैंने काम किया, बहुत बड़ी बात थी मेरे लिए. जब मैंने सुना कि सर हैं स्क्रिप्ट में, करीना कपूर जी हैं, इन लोगों के साथ सच्ची मेरे लिए फोटो करवानी भी बड़ी बात है.
He is being very humble. I remember उड़ता पंजाब हम लोग शूटिंग कर रहे थे. हम लोग तरन तारन में एक वहाँ जेल के उस जगह में शूटिंग कर रहे थे. तो थोड़ा बहुत क्राउड था वहाँ पे. मैं ऐसे गेटअप में था कि तो मैं पहुँचा वहाँ पे. साली ऐसे क्या हुआ दिलजीत सर आ रहे हैं, दिलजीत पाजी आ रहे हैं. You are a huge star in Punjab. यार, people love you.
Because of singing, गानों को प्यार करते हैं सर.
But I know what he's saying. I've danced behind you. So first day we met, in the gym working out together like buddies. Like, you made it, man. But I think one actor that I would like to do would be Balraj Sahni. because I've seen his films again and again, and I don't know where the craft is. I just don't know.
Yeah. Balraj ji, Motilal, just incredible performances.
What's the biggest lie you've told to a director?
I can do it.
Yeah, true, Noel. Biggest lie that we've told to a director.
I mean, your lies usually gets caught. That's why they ask for a retake. So
I can feel it.
Yeah, okay.
So yours?
Yeah. No, when we used to work with Rishida के साथ काम करते थे, तो he was least bothered कि कैसा set होगा, किधर क्या होगा, कौन actor. He was just because he was such a brilliant editor himself. तो कोई अगर मान लो लेट आ रहा है, तो कहता तुम उधर खड़े हो जाओ, वहाँ से यहाँ चल के आना. पूछो क्या कर रहे हैं, पूछो मत, यहाँ से करो. तो करके आपने जब फिल्म देखते थे तब पता चलता था यार तो सब सही हो गया. उनका यही एटीट्यूड होता था कॉस्ट्यूम के ऊपर, बिकॉज वो बड़े इकोनॉमिकल डायरेक्टर थे. सेट वेट एक एल शेप पर दीवार लगा देते तो उसमें पूरी फिल्म बन जाती थी. यहाँ तो अभी पूरे ताम झाम सब लगता है. तो ड्रेस के मामले में वो बहुत थोड़े स्पेसिफिक थे. तो when we used to go in the morning सेट पे पहुँचे, ऋषिता आज क्या है, हाँ ये करना है, तुम बस आ जाओ मेकअप करके. ऋषिता ये कपड़े क्या पहने, ये तुम जो पहना ये ठीक है. So we used to say यार अभी क्या है. So then every time we started coming next time to the studio, we would wear the dress which we wanted to wear for the film because you knew कि वो बोलने वाले हाँ यही पहन के आ जाओ. वो थोड़ा सा झूठ बोलते थे.
Yeah, like I said, like usually after a shot, then the director said, "Was it good for you?" I said, "Yeah, I felt it." You feel it like 1 out of 300 times, you know.
मैंने कभी झूठ नहीं बोला.
झूठ नहीं बोला.
नहीं, डायरेक्टर के साथ तो नहीं बोला. वैसे तो बोलता हूँ सर.
सब बोलते हैं.
क्या ये झूठ है?
नहीं, ये सच है.
But I lie all the time. My directors ask me whether after the first read of the script that did you get it? I'm like yes, because I want to do it, of course. Right. But I don't get it, and that's why I do it.
Right. Is there any role that has changed you as a person or led to some self-realization?
For me, it was my third film, Wake Up Sid. I remember when I got to the film, I'd finished Savaria and I worked on a film called Bachna Hai Hasino. This was the third set I got into. And he was a first-time filmmaker. I did like 5 days of work. On the 6th day, I've said this to you before. He came home and he sat down on the floor, Ayan, and said, "Okay, Ranbir, you're a pathetic actor. You're ruining my film." And I just came out of Bachna Hai Hasino where I had this mindset of playing hero in films. You know, he's saying you're playing a character and you're making this very, you know, cliche heroic. And just that conversation and then the next day on set and, you know, really trying to understand how you can build a character in a movie. That was really enriching and enlightening for me.
मैंने एक मूवी की थी सर, पंजाब 1984
जी.
उस मूवी में मुझे काफ़ी टाइम लगा उससे निकलने के लिए, क्योंकि मेरा 84 का बर्थ है. तो मैंने सुना बहुत कुछ और हमारे पंजाब ने सहा भी बहुत कुछ है उसके बारे में. सो जो बातें सुनी हुई थी, जो बातें हम जब जिस गांव में शूट भी कर रहे थे, तो वहाँ के जो बुज़ुर्ग थे उन्होंने भी जो बताई, जो बातें आप सुनते आ रहे हो, तो वो जब मैंने फिल्म शूट की थी तो उसमें से निकलने के लिए बहुत टाइम लगा, क्योंकि हमारे पंजाब ने बहुत सहा 84 के टाइम. सो वो बहुत इमोशनली काफ़ी असर किया उस फिल्म ने मेरे.
I think in Pink I said it before that मैंने जो कुछ भी उसमें कहा वो अगर मैं फिल्म ना कर रहा होता तो भी मैं वही सोचता और ऐसे ही बोलता. I just feel very strongly about the issue, about women empowerment, their dignity, their position in society. And मैंने हमेशा सोचा है कि उनका बराबरी का हिस्सा होना चाहिए समाज में. So doing that, there were moments when, you know, I mean, all of us were getting very emotional.
Right.
There were many times when all of us, you know, different times we broke down. I think that a lot had to do with the fact that some of the artists had actually been through experiences like that. जैसे कि दलजीत कह रहे हैं कि
That first
उनका पहला एक अनुभव था और कई बार जो रियलिटी होती है वो अंदर घुस जाती, फिर उसके साथ जूझना बड़ा मुश्किल होता है. तो if you strongly believed in something like, you know, in Pink and the issue, when you get to say something or do something, I know that in the courtroom there were moments in Pink where Shujit had briefed me differently. But when I was saying it, I just did what came to me at that moment. And he never stopped me. So I felt that probably that was okay. और जो लास्ट का था उसमें उसकी लंबी चौड़ी एक स्पीच थी जब उसे कहते हैं यू नो योर फाइनल प्रेजेंटेशन आई सेड इतना तो वो बोल चुका है ऑलरेडी इससे पहले अब और क्या बोलेगा so that's when I said you know because he was bipolar and so a lot of the things we cut out a lot of the bipolar section because we were not making a film on somebody being bipolar we wanted to have this so we didn't want to distract from that. तो शुरू में जब वो आर्ग्यूमेंट शुरू करता है वो बड़ा हेजिटेंट है रुक रुक के बोलता है समझ में नहीं आता क्या बोल रहा है वो थोड़ा सा बाइपोलर रखा था वहाँ पर एवरी टाइम वो पूछते थे व्हाट डू यू हैव टू से ही सेड नो सर नथिंग टू से सो आई सेड कैन वी प्ले ऑन दैट वर्ड नो एंड दैट्स व्हेन द राइटर्स एंड शुजीत एंड एवरीवन गॉट टुगेदर एंड डिजाइन्ड दैट वर्ड एंड वी एक्चुअली फाउंड आउट कि ना का मतलब ना ही होता है और कुछ होता ही नहीं अगर आप डिक्शनरी में जाएंगे उसका कोई एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं है ना का एक्सप्लेनेशन क्या है जैसे रंग का एक्सप्लेनेशन नहीं हो सकता ये नीला रंग है या काला रंग है कैसे एक्सप्लेन करेंगे काला क्या है कोई आपको उदाहरण देना पड़ेगा ये पर्दा काला है या आकाश स्काई काली होगी लेकिन ना का कोई वो नहीं है देयर इज नो एक्सप्लेनेशन फॉर इट एंड दैट रियली वाज सम ब्रिलियंट पीस ऑफ राइटिंग एट दैट मोमेंट कि जब कोई भी महिला ना बोलती वो आपकी गर्लफ्रेंड हो सकती पार्टनर हो सकती सेक्स वर्कर हो सकती है और आपकी अपनी बीवी ही नहीं क्यों नहीं हो यू हैव टू स्टॉप दैट वाज वेरी पावरफुल
I want to ask you, Mr. Bachchan, about that, what you just said, you know, the character being bipolar. How do you feel like that aspect of the character helped the story? Or do you find that sometimes, you know, details like that, just characteristics, just add to create an interesting character?
Yeah. I think as an actor, you're sometimes hungry to play something really different. And, you know, क्योंकि आपको opportunity मिलती है अलग कुछ करने के लिए देखो मैंने ऐसे किया ऐसे किया you get that opportunity but yeah he wanted the director wanted a bipolar condition because we wanted to show him to be quite abstract not really interested in it या क्या करने वाला है next कुछ पता नहीं है क्यों ऐसा करेगा कोई इसलिए उसको बाइपोलर रखा क्योंकि बाइपोलर में कभी आप एकदम डिप्रेशन में चले जाते हैं कभी एकदम नॉर्मल होकर के ज़्यादा एक्साइटेड हो जाते हैं अनप्रेडिक्टेबल क्या था हाँ यू ऑलमोस्ट अनप्रेडिक्टेबल तो क्या थी वो वजह जिससे कि वो कुछ ना करते हुए भी बहुत कुछ ज़्यादा कर देता है इसलिए उसको बाइपोलर रखा बिकॉज व्हेन ही स्टार्टेड ऑल हिज आर्ग्यूमेंट्स दे वर वेरी हेजिटेंट उसको पता नहीं था क्या बोलने वाला है
जी
एंड मेनी अ टाइम्स ही वुड नेवर क्वेश्चन यू वुड गेट अप एंड नॉट क्वेश्चन and his clients used to say क्या कर रहे हैं आप कुछ बोलिए तो सही and then by the time he reaches the end इतना vocal हो गया है वो इतना smart हो गया है तो कैसे दिखाते वो इसलिए एक अच्छा ग्राफ
राइट दिलजीत उड़ता पंजाब में आप वो पुलिस अफसर का रोल प्ले कर रहे हैं जो ही इज इग्नोरिंग द फैक्ट या ही इज हैप्पी टू टर्न अ ब्लाइंड आई टू द फैक्ट दैट देयर इज दिस ड्रग प्रॉब्लम इन द स्टेट तब तक जब तक उन्हें पता चलता है कि उनका भाई ड्रग एडिक्ट बन गया है और फिर आपके परफॉर्मेंस में वो इंटेंसिटी थी वो किरदार एक सिमरिंग इंटेंसिटी है ये तो जाहिर है कि आप उस लैंडस्केप के साथ फेमिलियर थे आप खुद पंजाब से हैं आप पॉप स्टार हैं कभी आपको लगा कि वो रोल मुझे करना था
विद एब्स तो बिल्कुल नहीं कर सकता था मैं वो बहुत टफ है बहुत ज़्यादा हाई है लेकिन मुझे कभी नहीं लगा जब मैंने स्क्रिप्ट सुनी तो ज़्यादातर मैं स्क्रिप्ट मुझे सुनाते कभी सिर्फ आपका रोल सुनाते हैं तो थैंक्स टू अभिषेक सर उन्होंने मुझे पूरी ए से जी तक सारा सुनाया तो मुझे बिल्कुल 1% भी नहीं लगा कि मैं कभी टॉमी सिंह का रोल कर सकता हूँ वो पाजी कर सकते थे और मुझे लगता है कि और को कर नहीं सकता था वो बहुत एनर्जी और जैसी बॉडी पाजी ने मेंटेन की इट्स वेरी टफ बहुत चीज़ें बहुत टफ है तो आपका कुछ और भूल जाते हैं आप डायलॉग्स भूल जाते हैं जब ऐसे एब्जर्व्स बनाए होते हैं सो दैट्स ऑल बहुत अच्छा काम किया
Have any of you ever been in a film where you had wanted the other part and settled for the one that you got and perhaps enjoyed it eventually?
Yeah, I did.
Gabbar.
Gabbar. Yeah, that was later, but earlier on in Namak Haram, I wanted to play Rajesh Khanna's role. But because it was an adaptation of Beckett, I learned that Peter O'Toole and Richard Burton were the two actors that used to play it. And on stage, one season, Peter O'Toole used to be the priest, Richard Burton the administrator, and then they used to switch roles. बदल देते थे जी role, अलग-अलग.
That's quite fascinating. It's quite cool. You can try that on stage with your play.
Yeah. But you know, it would be really fascinating if that could be done on film.
Right.
The two characters
Flipping
एक फिल्म में उन्होंने कोई किरदार किया, उसका सीक्वल बना या उसी चीज़ को एक और ढंग से पेश किया, जिसमें उन्होंने रोल बदल दिया.
Which actually in a way Face Off did that.
Correct.
Yeah, in a sense. Yes.
In a sense, yeah.
Get to play both characters.
Both characters,
Yeah. Right. What makes you grumpy as actors? Ranbir, your father, for example, hates night shoots. What are your pet peeves? Professional.
Early morning. So when we started producing this film Jagga Jasoos, me and Dada both are little not early risers because we sleep late.
This is Anurag Basu.
Anurag Basu. So we made it a point to have a 2 to 2 shift only on this film. So we only shot 2 to 2 on nights, no morning shifts.
For the rest of you?
Indiscipline
Sure.
on the set. I want the rest of the crew and everyone to understand कि वो actor किस परिस्थिति में है, क्या सोच रहा है, क्या कर रहा है, वो शॉट देने से पहले. उस समय उसकी अगर इज्जत नहीं होगी,
रिस्पेक्ट है,
तो मुझे लगता है कि कहीं आप डिसरिस्पेक्ट कर रहे हैं. हम कैमरामैन के लिए समय देते हैं, लाइटमैन के लिए समय देते हैं, ड्रेस वाले को समय देते हैं, सबको देते हैं. लेकिन शॉट से पहले कभी-कभी एक्टर को चाहिए यार थोड़ा सा शांत हो जाओ, मुझे अपने आप प्रिपेयर करने दो या जो. I think that yeah, that's something that you know, not just for myself.
Sure.
बाकियों के लिए भी. I always used to think that, but I was very, very pleasantly surprised when I was working with Dilip Saab in Shakti. And that was the scene when he shoots me at the airport, and I'm dying, and he holds me, and you know, I say all those lines. Why didn't you say it before? And that you love. And I was rehearsing that, and you know, there was crude sound going on, and he just shouted, Dilip Saab, तुम लोग actor को respect नहीं करते, चुप हो जाओ. Now, for me, who's, you know, Dilip Saab is my idol, I revere him as an actor and a person. It was astonishing that he would think like this, अपने सह कलाकार के लिए. That was a huge lesson for me. So I think every time I work, I would want to respect that. And when I don't find that respect given to the other artists, it irritates me.
I've learned to work around most things because I don't think the atmosphere on any set is ideal, and an actor's job is to learn to, you know, accommodate to different ways of working. But if there's a lack of drive or passion or sincerity, if I sense that in the crew, that's the most, you feel very let down, and you don't, because, you know, you come with so much, you know, when you do a film, it takes a year of your life. It defines how people view you and the options and the choices that you will get, your own feelings about yourself. If there's a lack of drive, passion, sincerity, if work is happening just by the way, that's one thing I don't know how to deal with it. I'm extremely bad at it. I don't know how to deal with it.
पाजी आप किस बात को लेकर चिढ़ते हैं?
नहीं पाजी, मुझे तो, मैं क्या नया हूँ, मुझे तो मज़ा आता है अभी. अभी कोई ऐसी बात मेरे मन में आई नहीं कि मैं चिढ़ जाऊँ. शायद पता नहीं आगे आ जाए. अभी तो मुझे सब बहुत अच्छा लगता है, बड़ा मज़ा आता है. अभी मैं कभी चिढ़ा ऐसे हो नहीं. हाँ जी.
I think pretentious people. I mean, like, you're making a living out of it. When you're asked for it, you're getting paid for it. When the camera stops rolling, at least then do not pretend. And so that's it. I mean, and the amazing thing is that everybody around that person also knows that he's pretending. He also knows that everybody knows that he's pretending. But still, that game is still on. And it's weird. I get grumpy because of that.
When was the last time you were completely starstruck?
I am right now.
Right now.
Yeah. The most...
You should ask first time, because last time would be here.
The last time before this, if you like.
For me, it was Dilip Saab, of course, and Raji. whom I used to meet.
Do you remember the first meetings?
With Dilip Saab? Yeah. I was not in the movies then. I was on a private visit to Bombay. And we were in a restaurant with our guests, and he came in. And I couldn't move because I'd been, so much admiration of him. And then the people said, you should get his autograph. I didn't have a book, so I ran out of the restaurant, tried to pick up a little diary from somewhere, came back and stood by him. And I said, I tried to say autograph, but I couldn't say it. And he just turned and went away. I was destroyed, absolutely. And then, to get the opportunity to work with him was just incredible experience.
I was starstruck by Amitji when he gave me my Filmfare for Heather because I didn't know he's coming, and I thought it's my moment. And I got up and then he walked in and suddenly I was like, oh shit, I'm getting this from Amitji and he's come. I don't know, I got so overawed by getting it from him at that moment. I forgot that it's my moment and I'm supposed to So.
वो इसलिए नहीं आया था मैं क्योंकि मैंने कहा था यार मैं ऑडियंस में नहीं बैठूंगा मुझे जिस समय मुझे देना है जो भी करना है मुझे बोल दो मैं उस समय आ जाता हूँ
So but you need to prepare people who are walking on stage to receive something from you. You should do it for them.
तो वो शाहरुख ने बहुत अच्छा बोला है सर आप 4-4, 5-5 घंटा क्यों बैठते हैं वहाँ पर 15 मिनट के लिए जाइए एक बार हंस दीजिए एक बार इधर देख लीजिए एक बार इधर देख लीजिए एक बार ऐसे फ्राउन कर दीजिए एक बार ताली बजा दीजिए चारों एक्सप्रेशन ही तो यूज होने वाले ना एंड में टीवी पे वो देखे आप निकल जाइए तो मैंने कहा यार ये बहुत अच्छा आइडिया मुझे तुम कहीं मेकअप रूम में बैठा दो यशराज में मैं वहाँ वेट करूँगा उसने 4 घंटा मुझे बैठा दिया लेकिन जब तक इनकी बारी आए तो मैं नीचे आ गया पीछे से और देख के चला गया so that's why you didn't see me in the audience
yes but आजकल यही होता है just to clarify at all award functions reactions are shot in 15 minutes and used wherever they want you actually feel violated with the way the reactions are placed
I've seen sometimes you're on stage but the reaction is yours
yeah कई बार ऐसे होता है
that's happened once I've seen that once.
The best I've heard is there's a superstar I won't name he usually shoots his act after the show and he doesn't attend the award, but after he shoots his act, then he sits in the audience, he fills his 4 rows with junior artists, he gives his reaction for 10 minutes and leaves. It's genius.
Yeah. It's genius how he didn't name him, but we all
know. I was starstruck by Messi when I met him in Barcelona. I was tongue-tied. I don't know what to say.
Did you get to get up close?
He signed a jersey for me and I got a picture. But I really felt nervous.
सलमान खान सर मेरा शूट था पंजाबी फिल्म का एक हमारा स्टिल शूट था और हमें पता चला कि सर शूट कर रहे हैं अपना गाना बॉडीगार्ड फिल्म का था शायद तो मैं सबको बोल रहा हूँ यार प्लीज़ मुझे ले जाओ मुझे फ़ोटो करा दो तो कोई जा नहीं रहा था तो एक लेडी थी शायद उनको जानती थी फिर वो हमें लेके गए तो मेरे दूसरे आर्टिस्ट भी साथ थे तो हमने फ़ोटो करवाई उनके साथ एक फ़ोटो कराई एक दूसरे की नहीं खींची हमने तो वो मेरे को बोल रहा है कि तू इधर खड़ा हो जा तो मैं इधर हो जाता हूँ हम इसको बीच में लेके कराते हैं फिर डालेंगे कि हमारे सेट पे आए सलमान खान मैं कहा नहीं मारेगा रहने तो वो एक मोमेंट मुझे याद है फिर हम आधा घंटा ड्राइव करके आए तो सलमान खान की बात है मैं पहले फ़ैन था लेकिन फिर और बड़ा फ़ैन हो गया
I think Shah Rukh Khan and with Shahid, we all did the Shah Rukh step back in 2013, I think, in one of the awards. And it was very, very surreal because I've danced behind Shah Rukh Khan, I've danced behind Shahid. And here is a middle-class Patna boy, engineering from Delhi, and dancing behind all these stars, doing the same thing with them. I mean, it was very surreal.
I think, but the most fascinating thing for me, I think now I get very struck by performances. I think it's amazing to see because, they're amazing people on this table. And the most fascinating thing is to see a character come alive and, you become an audience immediately. You're sitting in the theater, you're an actor, you're a professional, you do this every day. And then you see somebody doing something which just, you get lost in that. I think that's, for me, I get struck by that more than anything. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. Anybody can make you feel like that.
What's the last performance that blew your mind?
Ae Dil Hai Mushkil. You're outstanding in the film.
Sir?
I like all of them. And I'm not just being diplomatic. I genuinely feel that I'm really, really blessed to be still around in the industry when I can get to, sometimes work with some of these youngsters, but be able to watch them and see them because I think I'm amazed कि पहली फिल्म में कैसे ये एकदम करेक्ट कैसे हो सकते हैं 100% कहीं भी मुझे कोई गलती नहीं दिखती ये मुझे बड़ा ताज्जुब होता है हम तो आज भी सीख रहे हैं कि यार कैसे किया जाए ये शॉट लेकिन जब मैं देखता हूँ सबकी फिल्में बहुत ताजुब होता है। ना दिलजीत पाजी की फिल्म है देखी, इट्स अमेजिंग। बड़ा मुश्किल होता है बाजी एक फ्रेम में बिना कुछ बोले खड़े रहना और कुछ ना करना, फिर भी लोग समझ रहे हैं कि आप क्या सोच रहे हैं। ये आपने किया था उड़ता पंजाब में और मुझे बड़ा ताज्जुब हुआ। मैंने पूछा यार कहाँ से लाया इस एक्टर? So you know, a lot of times I just.
And Diljit also has an inherent goodness which reflects on screen. You know, when he's
yeah, there's something about his face which
it's
is
very calm and it's very peaceful, and you know, it's very good.
It's very genuine. You know, it's very genuine. Yeah.
Last performance.
You know, it's very unfair because I haven't seen all the movies. I haven't seen MS Dhoni yet. But I remember when I saw Urta Punjab, I called Shahid. I was like, what was this? You know, it was incredible. You know, to be out there and to actually express and project is very risky. You know, so you always underplay a part because it's, it's easier. To actually play it to the limit is very hard. So he was incredible in that. I thought Paji was unbelievable. I remember he was in the theatre when I saw Urta Punjab and he was standing there. And I was so awestruck because I saw this character and then I saw him. And he was so humble about it, you know. He treated me like I was some 30 years senior to him and, you know, all of that. But I was really in awe of what he did. Then when I saw Pink, I mean, this should have actually been his 400th Actors Roundtable.
Right.
Because every year since the last 45 years, he's bettering himself with every film. You see it in Piku, then you see it in Pink. It's like, how does he do it? You know, that interval shot of him on the door, no dialogue, and they see him, and then he just turns and walks down. Master, you know, master.
Actually, I won't take credit on that. That's the director's credit.
It is you.
And the editor's credit.
It is you.
There was a line. वो आगे खड़े होते हैं कहते हैं कि कल 10 बजे का टाइम है, टाइम पे पहुंच जाना. But Shujit, who was editing, he said, you know, I don't want him to say anything. Just the fact कि पूरी पिक्चर में उसने अपना वो लॉयर का ड्रेस नहीं पहना है, वो पहली दफा दरवाजा खुलता है.
और more enough.
It was, I thought it
Very
was
powerful,
very, very powerful. It was brilliant editing. He just cut out all my lines. If you were to pull back and see that, you may find a few lip movements there, which was kept in a fairly long shot. But I thought that was brilliant editing.
And I also must add, you know, I mean, everyone's saying Shashank is the performance of the year, you know, people are going crazy. And you see it in the promos, you know, that he's not trying to... biopics are very hard.
Yeah.
You know, you always overplay them. It looks a little jarring. There was a certain, marriage of what he was doing. And I'm sure he must be brilliant in it. But I must also add, there was also Fawad in Kapoor and Sons, who was incredible.
True.
Salman Khan in Sultan.
Indeed.
Great performance. So I think this year has really been, you know, good where performances are concerned. You know, I agree with Man, I think, the performances are better than the movies, I feel, this year.
Audiences are making us do this.
Right.
You know, the audiences are saying, yeah, ये पहले देखा हुआ है और कुछ नया दिखाओ या कुछ नया करके देखो.
Thank
वो
God.
बताएंगे, वो
I think
बताते
also
हैं.
Manoj Vajpayee in Aligarh.
Aligarh,
I don't know why
yes,
he's
he
not
was terrific.
being talked about, but seriously, he was very, very good.
He was brilliant. I've just worked with him and I just couldn't stop praising him.
Diljit, your favorite performance this year?
Rockstar, जो पाजी ने परफॉर्म किया था उस फिल्म में.
तभी पाजी ने 4 साल पहले था.
नहीं लेकिन नहीं अच्छा ये अभी बता रहा नहीं मैं तो परफॉर्मेंस बता रहा हूँ. सॉरी नहीं दिल मुश्किल भी बहुत अच्छी नहीं पर रॉकस्टार इज लाइक वो कुछ
बिल्कुल I agree with you.
मैं कैसे कर सकता है कोई एक्टर ऐसे जब पाजी एक्टिंग करते हैं मैं शायद पहले भी कभी बोला है तो ये लगता ही नहीं है कि वो एक्ट कर रहे हैं. कभी बार बंदा देख के बोलता है यार कितना अच्छा एक्ट किया तो लेकिन जब पाजी एक्ट करते हैं वो लगता नहीं कि एक्ट किया यार ये ऐसे ही हो रहा है. तो वो बात बड़ी कमाल लगती है वो मुझे समझ नहीं आई बात. और एक जब मैंने पीकू देखी फिल्म सारी फिल्म बहुत अच्छी थी. सर घर से निकलते हैं और सर की वॉक है ऐसे पीछे से शॉट लगा हुआ है. वो वॉक मुझे भूलती नहीं कि इस एज पे आके भी हर एक शॉट चाहे उसमें डायलॉग है चाहे वॉक है चाहे कुछ है आप 100% दे रहे हो.
लेकिन वॉक की बात आई मैं जस्ट एक चीज़ मैं हमेशा बोलना चाहता था. रॉकेट सिंह में शायद वो तुम्हारा लास्ट शॉट था जो बैक शॉट था when you were walking. I got goosebumps. Great job.
Thank you so much for this very generous insight into your minds, into your process, what makes you choose the films that you do, what makes you approach the projects that you do, the roles that you do. Here's hoping that you will continue to surprise us, to pick the parts that really entertain us as an audience, but also engage us and also really inspire us, because that's what you've done, certainly this year, and really with the majority of the roles that all of you have played. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thank you.